Hello there, More here, and thank you for joining me on my channel today. We're going to get to a champion guidance spotlight on a Force Affinity Barbarian champion named Sentinel. But before we do it, and find out if he can progress your account or help you progress your account, I want to give a big thank you and shout out to my subscribers. Thank you so much for your support. It means the absolute world to me that you are here on this mission with me to create the most comprehensive library of champion guides of the rare and epic champions that the Raid Shadow Legends community has ever seen. I greatly appreciate it. And if you are here and you are not yet a subscriber of this channel, then I hope by the end of the video, I can have the privilege of calling you a subscriber of this channel. So let's find out. Sentinel, what does he do? Can he help you? He does have some interesting mechanics to his kit that can potentially be very niche-y in general. So let's find out. His A1 attacks one enemy, has a 60% chance of placing a provoke debuff for one turn if this attack is critical. Caveat real quick before we get into it, mine is not built out very well, I guess. So I'll tell you that. I'll tell you when I get to the stats, just what you can do or should do and focus on if you try to build your Sentinel out. I've learned some more since I've done mine. I've not gone back and focused on this a little bit recently because this Sentinel is on this account, which is the account I'm giving away when we hit 2,000 subscribers. So don't forget to subscribe later on. Okay, his A1 attacks one enemy, has a 60% chance of placing that provoke debuff for one turn if the attack is critical. The attack is also based on attack and defense. So it's a defense, it's actually an HP based champion, but this A1 scales off of defense along with that attack. His A2 attacks all enemies in AoE, has a 50% chance of placing a 25% decreased attack debuff for 2 turns, and also has a 50% chance of placing a 100% heal reduction debuff for 2 turns. I actually got a book in that one right there. I got no books there. So I got one book in this guy. Increases the chance to land those debuffs, so that becomes a 55 and a 55% chance to land them. If you mastered him out, you could actually get that up to another 5%. Grand total books plus mastery, you're looking at 80% chance to land these debuffs. Not too bad. That's a fairly reliable chance to land those debuffs. Heal reduction, people underrate that debuff. It's very helpful, especially in arena. And then also, 25% decreased attack. It's the small version of that debuff. I got it, but it's better than nothing. His passive, however, this is where the interesting mechanic comes in. Heals this champion by 10% of this... 10%... Heals this champion by 10% HP. It's going to be 10% of his max HP. Why Plarium did not put max in there, I don't understand why. And it's not 10% of his current HP, and it's not 10% of his missing HP. It's going to be 10% of his total HP. Remember that mechanic, though. At the start of their turn, this heal can be critical. So if you max out that crit rate to go with that A1 to land that provoke, right? Yep, to land that provoke, you're going to crit every single time with this heal. But remember, like Apothecary, crit damage does not affect the heal. Crit rate will affect the chance of the heal critting. So it's going to be a 50% increased heal because that's what crit damage does at the base core of it. So you crit with this heal, you're going to have a standard, say, easy math, 100% HP Sentinel. This is going to do a 10%, which is a 10,000 heal increase, right? In every single turn, at the beginning of every turn. It crits for a 50% increase on that heal quantity. So 50% of the 10,000 is another 5,000. So it turns a 10,000 into a 15,000 HP heal. That's how that would work out at the beginning of every single turn. So instead of a 10%, it ends up being a 15% HP heal at the beginning of every turn. Remember that mechanic. Hey there, not sure if you're aware or not, but the account you're seeing right now, I'm going to be giving it away. I'm going to give it away to one lucky subscriber once we hit 2,000 subscribers. So if you want a chance to get this, there'll be a card up in the corner. Go to that video, leave a comment on that video, and explain to me why you want a chance at this account. His aura increases ally resistance in faction crypts by 30. Not too shabby for a faction crypt aura. As you can see, I have no masteries on this guy. Mine is not very built out because, again, remember, this is on the account that I'm giving away, so I have not focused very hard on him lately because I have my other primary account. All my time and attention going to there. What have I done with him? This Sentinel, when I bring him to the gameplay, I'm going to take him to Arcane Keep, and you can see just what his mechanics look like, just what his skills actually do to the champions, and what's going on with his artifacts. I've got a Regeneration set, and I've got an Immortal set on him. Regeneration gives him a 10% regen at the beginning of every turn, just like his mechanic does. Immortal also gives him an extra 3%. I thought about giving him 3 Immortal sets to give him a total of 9. Instead, I give him a Regeneration and an Immortal to give him a total of 13% HP regen, plus his mechanic of 10. So you get a total of 25% HP regen every single turn. If he cycles through his turns, if he's got speed built onto him, mine does not. He's also got a very low base speed. If you build speed on him, and you can cycle through his turns, and you can get some other stuff to go with his mechanics, so whether it be Immortals or Regens, or continuous heals from some other source, this guy almost does not die, because he's going to regen his life at the beginning of his next turn, just about 100%. 100% of the time, he's going to regen something. Let's see his stats real quick so you can see what he's dealing with when we get to the actual gameplay. His HP is 20,400 or 500. His attack is 1,000. Now his A1 and his A2 both scale off attack. His A1 also scales off of defense, so remember that. His defense, however, is 800. Very low, needs to be much better. He is a 50, 5-star, fully ascended champion. His stats are very low when it comes down to it for this level. His speed is 93. His base speed, however, is 86. He's got a very low base speed for any champion in the game. I think most of the uncommons even have a higher base speed than 86. So he starts off very low. Because of that mechanic of the 10% HP, I think is why Plarium handicapped his speed so much. Because every time, it's a built-in continuous heal. It's going to happen every single turn, regardless of the time. Crit rate is only 26% for this champion right here. You should build that to 100% crit rate for him. So really, you should have 100% crit rate. Crit damage is kind of negligible for the mechanic of the heal. If you want to build him as DPS, then yes, you want crit damage. If you want to build him as a support style tank to help do some damage and lay some debuffs on the team, on the champions, on the enemies for your team, then you want 100% crit rate. And you want defense and HP up, especially HP. Focus on the HP because his mechanic will be more efficient, more effective with higher HP. You do want to have some defense. Don't ignore his defense because with more defense, it reduces how much damage he actually takes. So don't forget that one as well. His speed, I do think, needs to be his second priority behind his crit rate because he does need that speed to come back around and take another turn. Otherwise, he's not going to get the heals. Without the heals, he will just wither away and die. And that is just not cool. Alright, so let's get into the Arcane Keep and show you just what his mechanics can actually look like. Plarium, I don't buy anything. I'm free to play. They keep punching that in front of my face. I don't like it too much. But hey, it's part of the game, right? Here's a team I'm dealing with. Apothecary, Chevalier, Jizzo, Royal Guard, and Sentinel. And yes, there's a Royal Guard on this account. And yes, that Royal Guard is going to somebody else when this account goes to somebody else. So, Arcane Keep, Stage 10. I didn't want to go too... Hey there, if you're liking the video so far, hit that subscribe button down below. Thanks. Too high because this is one, not my primary team, and two, I didn't want to take entirely too long. This run only lasts about a minute, maybe a little bit longer than that, so it'll be a pretty quick little run for the gameplay. There's his AoE. Landed an attack down and a heal reduction on the same champion. The other two missed it completely. His accuracy is not very high as well. I didn't point that out. His accuracy was only like 40 or 50 or something like that. So you can actually rewind and go check it out just to make sure. But you do want to have some accuracy if you want to rely on those debuffs from his AoE or his provoke for that matter. So remember that if you're going to build your Sentinel up. So here we go. Let me move myself all the way so you can see the heal that come every single turn. Beginning his turn. It's going to happen just a second. Wait for it. There's Jizzo and Sentinel. Got 3 different heals automatically. 3 different heals. That's going to be his mechanic, his regeneration, and his immortal. So that's 3 different heals he's got going on in him. So I said 10%, 10%, 3%. He heals 25% of his light HP back every single turn. Mine does. How do you have yours built? If you build one up, let me know. What did you put on it? What does he do? Where do you use him at? Thank you for joining me in the video all the way through. I greatly appreciate it. If you're still here and if you are not yet a subscriber, why not? Hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell notification so YouTube can tell you the next time I put out content. The next video I put out will be notified to you by YouTube. I will see you on that video.